afternoon, goons, and welcome to episode 3 of the JSB AnimeCast. I'm your host, Asher, enjoying a lovely Saturday with my good friends / I consider them practically family. You know the usual, bottom left, Tiger Lily, rocking the ears this lovely Saturday. Fresh bowl of ramen down her gullet. She's ready to go. And to my bottom right is the patriarch of the JSB family, Zen. And here I am with a fresh bottle of Senku Cola. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Refreshing.
Yeah.
Tastes like vanilla.
Mm.
Yeah, how are we doing today? Are we doing all right, gang?
Doing pretty good. I just want to say I think I want you to keep going with "Good Afternoon, Goons" as your opener. I think that is perfect.
I think it's exactly how I feel about my homies. You know, goon isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's really funny. I called someone a goon once, and they looked it up and they were incredibly insulted because I guess it means like a crony. It's like a dumb idiot, like side character. But I say goon endearingly. You know, like me and my goons are gonna like goon squad it up. We're gonna go to town. We're gonna beat up people who get in our way. But I guess some people
like a bunch of goons.
Like a bunch of goons.
A bunch of goons.
But I guess people take it very seriously, and obviously if it hurts them, then, you know, I backed off and stopped saying it around them. But know that for you guys, I mean it truly endearingly. You guys are my goons, and I appreciate y'all. So, let's talk about, before we get into the thick of it, before we start breaking out our science textbooks, what have y'all been watching anything other than Dr. Stone? Let's start with Zen.
So I got a few things here or there. Not too many new things, really. Just kind of continuation of the last time. So in my ongoing effort to turn my friend Drew into the ultimate weeb, we did go ahead and watched the Full Metal Alchemist movie, Conquerors, Shamballa. Asher, you've seen it. Jennii, I don't know if you've seen it. No. How do you feel? How do you feel about that movie?
I haven't seen it, dude, since I was like since I was 16.
Yeah, it's been a long time, right? Same here. And like my overall feel when I think about that movie is like I thought it was all right. Like I thought it was a pretty good like closure to like that original series.
Yeah,
and I felt okay by the end of it, right? There's a character here or there that I'm like, man, this sucks for you.
Okay.
But I think everybody else had some pretty good closure. I like what that movie does with Mustang, really specifically because like he's really going through a lot of the problems with the war, right? Like all of the things that he did himself, taking people's lives and stuff like that, really affects him, and it's like him going through like a PTSD.
Yeah.
Right, and learning to get over that. So I think the movie.
I was gonna say, if a character doesn't go through PTSD in the world of Full Metal, and I don't. That's wrong. You're the problem.
Exactly, you're the problem. There's a problem here. But I think that movie does a really good job overall. The only thing that on this rewatch that I didn't like so much, and Drew was very much in agreement, is like the villain for that movie is very whatever, very throwaway.
I don't even remember the villain.
It's like random Karen white woman is angry at the world.
Yeah.
Yzma?
Not Yzma.
Might as well be. Like we were laughing the whole time of just like it's who is this lady? Like, get out of here, please.
Yeah.
But everything outside of her, that movie is great. And then we went on to start the first couple of episodes of Brotherhood, which is really fun as well. I've always thought Brotherhood. I always had a feeling of like the intro to Brotherhood, the first couple of episodes kind of like speed runs through a lot of the content that we already know, right? And I was very curious to see if I would still feel that way upon this rewatch. That's how I felt when I first watched it.
Yeah.
And I still feel like it does, right? But
Yeah.
I don't really think it takes away much. But there are some points where I'm like, I kind of wish we lingered here a little bit more. Like, I think there's some areas where I think the original does better by drawing some of that stuff out a bit. But so far we're having a great time with it. You know, you could definitely tell they got the budget increase.
Absolutely.
You know, the music is hitting, the OPs are fire. So we're gonna continue that over the next couple of weeks and try to get through that.
Hell yeah.
Same number of episodes as the original too. They're both 52 episodes.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome that they did that.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff. Aside from that, I did start Tomo-chan as a girl, because Asher came over after we went to Orlando, and we were just kind of like lounging around in the living room, and was just like, you know what if we just throw an anime? And started that, and then after Asher left, after like episode 4 or 5, I kept watching.
Are you all caught up?
Not yet. I am I think an episode or 2 behind.
Okay.
So I think I'm on episode 7.
Okay.
And I think there's 9 or something like that. I really like that show. Yeah. I think it's very cute, very wholesome.
Yeah.
I was very scared initially when they first announced that show, because I didn't know anything about it until like you really started going in on it and started reading it and started telling me about it.
Yes.
And I was like, is this going to be a whole thing about like misgendering Tomo and like jokes playing on that, and like this could get real ugly real quick?
Absolutely.
Right? If she's always like the butt of the joke or something like that. But I was pleasantly surprised, right? And really excited by how like they don't do that.
No.
And it's really just this heartwarming tale of her trying to like confess to her childhood friend who basically just friend zones her, right? Like within the first 5 minutes of the anime, and I'm just like, damn, Tomo, please. And it has some really great side characters. Misuzu and Carol are like 2 of my favorite characters, I think, this entire year so far.
Yeah, they're great.
They're just like they're trying to push Tomo, right? But at the same time, they're very entertained by this sort of deadlock that they're in, and always just like putting her in awkward scenarios to try and push her to like really get with her friend. So I'm enjoying it. I'm going to continue with it. I'll finish it out. I might read the manga. We'll see. I'm very, very interested in it.
It's crazy seeing where they are in the show now, and that it's going to be done in a season.
Yeah.
Like, it's done. And so I was like, oh, I feel like we never get that. I feel like because of the amount of content in the manga, it's just like, we could finish this in 1 season. Let's finish it. And then it's a complete story.
Yeah.
And then it's just done. Which is, like, especially interesting to think about because I think Tomo-chan is popular. So, like, I think a lot of people like it. So, knowing that it's, like, pretty well regarded and then it's gonna be done is just fascinating to me. Because I feel like we just never get that. You know?
We don't. Normally, it's like, we're going to pace this out to be at least a couple seasons. Try to milk it, you know what I mean? Get those Blu-ray sales for multiple seasons of an anime.
Exactly.
But hearing that, like, they're kind of flying through it and this will be completely done is surprising, but also very nice. Because I also like when things are just done. It's like a short, sweet story, and then I can move on to something else.
Yeah, and then I'll no doubt, like, talk about it in the future. I'll reap its nostalgia, and I will speak fondly of it, and hopefully, like, a series like that will still reap its dividends as I talk about it in the future and get more people to watch it, you know?
Right.
Enjoy, like, a small little snack, a small little high-quality snack.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those anime that, like, I can throw on in the background and just, like, enjoy its presence on the screen.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing I do with, like, Azumanga Daioh and a couple other, like, classic comedy, like slice of life anime. Right?
Yep.
So it's in that tier for me, which is very high. So
hell yeah.
That's really kind of it. Like, I'm still going with Trigun. I'm still fascinated by that.
I need to catch up.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I need to catch up.
Please. But that's really about it. Didn't have a ton of time over the last 2 weeks. I feel like I've been really busy lately.
Don't worry, I have too.
Yeah.
Fair.
Is that?
Fair enough. What about you, Jennii? Any anime other than Dr. Stone you've been watching that you want to chime in about?
Yeah, so thanks to you guys bringing it up in the last 2 episodes of, 2.
Yeah.
I started watching Made in Abyss.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And we are about 3 episodes into season 2, I think. 2 or 3. It definitely starts off with a harder bang, if you will.
Oh, so cool to just not start with the main characters.
Yeah. And you start to kind of piece things together about the world, all of it, like really fast. All of a sudden, it's like it all comes together, and you're like, "Whoa!" Like I think I figured out, who the people were, like the creatures, the hollows were.
Yeah.
Pretty much right away. I was just like, "Oh, okay."
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, though. It makes sense. So yeah, I mean, that one's just got me completely sucked in. So
Yeah.
I had a 6 a.m. workout the next day, and I was watching it. The movie had to start it at 11 something, so that it'd be done by 1.
Yeah. Yep.
I just want to say your live chat reacts really did help my work night go by really quick. I was entertained the entire way.
Penis.
Papa poll, please.
Papa pole.
Incredible. I just loved hearing that Paul cried. It's like,
oh yeah, I just heard it loud at the corner.
Oh my god.
It's so cute when he cries. I love it.
I have the like I said, it's no joke when I say I am so hideous when that scene comes on. I'm just like I've never I've never not been able to like prevent myself from crying at the major like sad part of season 1. Like it was my 4th time watching it this past year. Just showing it to a friend, and I turned on the cry cam, and I was like, I wonder how I'm gonna like cry this time, because it's an emotion that I find like so cathartic. I really want to embrace it, so I try not to hold it back at all. I'm just like feel it all, because like it's just a really really good moment, and like as it's happening, I'm just like, oh dude, my face is a scrunchie. Without any hair in the middle, it's like sucked in, and I'm like,
oh my god,
and I'm like, I have to take off my glasses because they're fogging up, and I have both my hands on my like just clutching my face, and I'm just making the most hideous sounds.
How do we not have the Asher cry emote yet? Why is that not a thing?
I'm sure I could put. Oh, you know what? Because I have it stream. I think the last time I cried on stream was for Before Your Eyes. So if that VOD is still up, I guess technically I could still do it. But if that VOD is gone, looks like I'll have to find like, I'll either have to record it when I know I'm gonna cry, or I better
what we're gonna
play
do is we're gonna have a 5th watch of Made in Abyss, and we're just gonna have Asher. We're gonna have a live stream of Asher reacts to Made in Abyss.
Oh my god.
I mean, it basically is about the length of the movie, so we could do that.
That could be a fun thing to do, is like stream watch sessions, do that thing where you keep the, what's it called, the timer on, and it's like, this is the timer we're on.
People
the
can
episode.
follow
People
along.
can follow along, and I'm like, blah blah blah, this guy sucks. Like, that could be fun.
Jennii, so after season 1 in the movie, what is your favorite like scene, or what is your favorite parts of Made in Abyss?
Yeah.
Obvious spoiler tags for anybody watching.
Yeah, spoilers.
That's hard.
Yeah.
I think it's the concept of what they have to go, they're going through to go down into the abyss. I had a dream a long time ago that I thought it was kind of maybe a metaphor in my life of making the wrong decision. Or like being afraid of making the wrong decision and not being able to change your mind later on down the road. And I think it's a fear like that we have. It's not one that I think literature talks about too much, kind of like fear of death, fear of heights, fear of nature or anything like that. It's but fear of not being able to change your mind and go back. I don't know, maybe that's its own category, but that's how this whole world feels. And I think it's scary because like once those kids started, the further they went, the more impossible it's going to be to turn back. And the whole time, they really battle with this, and it's like, but they can't look at it as that's the worst part. The worst part is if you are stuck here, not that you can't keep going, because that's always an option. You can always going.
Stop, or people end up stuck,
right. So like going back is worse. Getting stuck is also terrible, but keep going is not the worst thing, and so I think it's the world that honestly is what keeps me going, because I'm like, how you get to see how many people or how many characters try to like get to know the world. How do they cope with the world? And we see a whole group just stay. They're just stuck and they don't hate it. And then there's the ones that have tried to go back, and then they hurt themselves going back basically, and then get stuck that way. But it seems that the ones who push forward, and that's really one of her powers, Riko's powers, is that she will push forward no matter what. I mean, she was ready to, cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pay an arm and a leg for it just to keep going. So, and it's almost like you also look at Reg's motivation for going. He doesn't really have a strong motivator to keep going. Nothing really holds him back either. Like, he's fine throughout the whole thing. He just doesn't want to be alone, and that's such a human trait.
Absolutely,
for sure.
So watching him have a completely different struggle is basically watching all the characters. It's the same thing. Watching other characters respond to this world completely different ways. And so if I had to pick a favorite scene, I think it might have been. It's probably around something Nanachi like related.
Yeah, Nanachi.
I'm a big fan of Nanachi. Probably the learning of the history of Nanachi and Miri. I feel like Asher's on the cusp of ugly cry right now.
I mean, this question was just a ruse to get Asher to start crying.
It's so bad. Oh my god. It's so sad. I can't. Oh my god. I love that because it is like what a way to also set up a villain who is never in the season. They're going to confront him at some point, Bone Druid, but all you get of him is what he has done. You don't actually get the confrontation with him. So what a sale to me to watch the movie. Just be like, hey, by the way, all the terrible emotions you felt in this first season, you haven't even actually met the guy. But you can if you watch the movie and keep watching. And I'm like, I gotta be like Riko. I gotta keep going forward.
Yeah.
I guess you can't watch the season 2 without watching the movie.
Nope.
Because you missed that really critical detail.
Yeah, it's canon.
Yeah.
It's full canon.
Yeah.
And
Bone Druid. What names too that all these characters have?
Oh, such cool names. Bone Druid, Ozen.
I love Ozen. Ozen's great.
I feel like every White Whistle, one of the mysteries that really gets me is like finding out more about Rika's mother, because like I have to know what type of person she is. I feel like every instance we get of like a flashback of her or anything, remembering anything of her, is like through rose-colored glasses, because she was Liza the Annihilator. And so why does she have that name? And 2, every White Whistle we've ever met is messed up. And I can only imagine that they like get more messed up as it goes further down. There's like no way. You have to be like, there has to be something wrong with you, to keep going through this, I feel
in a weird way. That kind of makes me think of Full Metal, right? Like we were talking about Mustang earlier and the PTSD.
Yeah.
But it develops these powerful characters that are able to overcome them, right? They didn't stop going, but they're for like forever damaged. There is no.
Yeah.
And like the Ring is a very similar thought, right? The further Frodo goes, the more messed up, and there's no return for him.
Yeah.
Even Samwise is able to come back and have a normal life, but he's forever damaged. And it's like, yeah, so it's like, I guess White Whistles hit a point where they're like, yeah, I'm going to have to accept that this is my life after this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She said the same thing too, like Eliza, when she said, I'm gonna go become a White Whistle. I'm gonna go down there. Yeah, but everyone talks about it as this force that you have no control over. You have to go. You're drawn to the pit. But then I also thought about the horror version of it, which was that it's a Junji Ito, I think, piece, and it's The Fault in the Mountains.
Oh yeah, the one with the holes. This is my hole.
Oh yes.
Yes. But they had that same draw, so that was like the horror version of Made in Abyss, right? So very short. They go in the hole and they don't come out.
Yeah. So, one of the concepts that I've thought about, and I have a very basic. I don't have a high-end understanding of this. I've only ever touched on this concept, but when I was first studying film, one of the papers I read had touched on a Freudian idea that everybody wants to return to the womb. And this specifically talked about Alien. So if you look at Alien and its I don't want to say symbolism, but the ship looks like two legs spread open. And they go into it, right? They're going into the hole and returning to the womb, one could say. And there's a lot of that. There's actually a lot of that thematic in Made in Abyss. Only hammered home, and that's another thing, is that Rika is returning to where she came from. Remember, she was born in the Abyss. And there's something that compels her to return to it. So in a way, she's also returning to the womb. She's returning to her mother. And then it's only hammered home more with the second season. You haven't reached that point yet, Jennii. I'm very excited for you to. But that concept, I feel is very prevalent in Made in Abyss. And I wouldn't be surprised if, it just draws so much inspiration from that idea. And classic horrors have really pulled from that idea. Obviously, Alien being one of the all-times. Yeah, that anime is going to be with me until I die, I'm pretty sure. I think about it a lot, and I'm glad you're liking it.
Yeah.
I just have to deal with Rico. That's the only thing.
Yeah, Rico,
this is why Yu Yu Hakusho would easily be the top, because I love every character in that.
Yeah.
Rico, I have my waves where I can stand her for a little bit.
So I had this conversation with my friend, and I won't go too deep into it because obviously you're still watching it. But the way I feel about season 2 is that everything that Made in Abyss does good, it does the best it's ever done. The world building is so freakishly good in season 2. The drama within the characters is peak at the characters that they introduce. But the bad stuff that Made in Abyss does, I think, is also the worst in season 2. Which makes me the good vastly outweighs the bad, by a lot. But I do think about the bad stuff in season 2, and I'm why'd they do that? Why'd y'all do that? So
they definitely upped the butt stuff.
They did up the butt
There's
stuff.
a lot of butt stuff.
Already. There's so much butt stuff.
Yes. They doubled down on the butt stuff.
Yeah, whoever was
why'd they do that?
Right. They did it twice.
Yeah.
On the same character within 2 episodes. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Please.
What are we doing?
Leave that Digimon's butt alone.
Yeah, why'd you do that? But like I said, the rest of it is so. There's a point where maybe you don't realize you're on a roller coaster in season 2, and then you hit a certain point, and then you're just down it goes. Biggest drop of your life. You're going through these loop-de-loops. You're screaming. You're having a good time. and I cannot wait till you reach that point, and I cannot wait to talk about that because it is. I don't know. I get chills thinking about it. It's really good. Good. All right. Any other anime you watched, Jennii, or is that it?
That's it. Last of Us, last episode for the season is this Sunday, so that'll drop off, and I'll have a little more time there.
Okay.
Not anime, but how are you feeling about that?
Yeah.
Just a quick side.
Oh,
It's anime.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Every
Still strong?
episode has been strong. Like
Yeah.
they didn't have fillers. Some people have said that certain things were fillers. I was like, no, those are pretty critical details.
Yeah.
And the production quality is so high. If they do a Halloween Horror Night house theme of Last of Us,
Ooh.
I think there are rumors of it, which would make sense.
I would go.
It's so
Yeah.
Let's go.
dude, I want to see that. I want to feel like that crunch under my feet of the dried fungus. Nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That sounds like a trip.
Yeah, I'll have to only watch the first episode. I really have to pick that up. God, I only watch movies and anime, but I feel like I can't avoid that one. That one seems very pivotal.
It's gonna feel like an anime. Like we're talking about Made in Abyss was supposed to be a video game, and there are moments where I can feel like it plays out like a video game.
Yeah.
Because you got Reg, who's like way too OP for this world.
Yep. Reg is. Yep.
Yeah, but Regu.
Regu.
That's like, where'd the ooh come from?
Woo woo.
But I'd say Last of Us feels like, I mean, it is based off the video game. So it'll kind of play out kind of like an anime, like an RPG of some kind.
Yeah.
JRPG even.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll get on that soon. Well, for me, I'm caught up to D4TJ. You guys know, still mid. Also watched Tomo-chan. Loved that. Was a manga reader, and glad that Rob liked it. That was really fun. A good way to end our trip from Orlando. A nice, relaxing wind down. Honestly, caught up to Blue Lock today.
I am like an episode behind, I think.
It's good. It's good. It's fun. It's that spicy. And then watched Demon Slayer. We watched. So in theaters, they premiered the first episode of the next season. You watch the last 2 episodes of last season, and then you watch the new episode. Looks great. Looks promising. I think, as a person who has read all the manga, if you didn't notice, in my back over here, there's the entire box set of Demon Slayer on manga. Their budget is just out of control. It's like crazy how much stuff they do, and specifically the opening scene where all the upper 6 rank demons meet. That scene is I remember that scene being 3 pages long.
Yeah.
It's the first 15 minutes of the anime.
I also really love the production around the Infinity Castle.
Yeah, it's crazy looking.
The whole thing is so fucking sick.
Yeah, it was so sick.
The visuals, their use of the 3D animation, and just that sense of really feeling like an actual labyrinth.
Yes.
I'm actually feeling lost in I don't know which way is up. I am very just confused. Where am I? They did such a great job setting that up, or just the force behind how fast Akaza is actually going, being pushed up and pushed around and stuff like that. You get a real sense of you're on this roller coaster ride through this area. God, Ufotable. They're actually my favorite studio.
All that really?
I love Ufotable. Yes.
Do I have a favorite studio? Madhouse, Bones. Who did Ufotable? Who did Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill? Or no, they didn't do Gurren Lagann, I don't think. Did they?
I'm pretty sure that Trigger.
Yeah, Trigger. Okay,
Trigger.
Trigger.
Yeah. City of Trigger.
You know what? I never thought about it, but now you got me. You got me thinking.
We'll have an answer by the end of this show, I'm sure.
The wheels are turning.
Yeah.
But it's really looking promising. I think this will be a lot of people's favorite arcs. I think a lot.
Gynax.
Yes, good old Gynax.
Okay. Moved on to make Trigger. That's why I got them confused.
There we go. Moved on to make Trigger. Okay, that's right. I think this will be a lot of people's favorite arcs. I said it before. I won't give any spoilers. Lots of really good moments. One specific moment that I know I'm gonna cry at. Very certain. Get your cry cam on. Get the Asher cry cam ready. There's gonna be one moment in the season. If it makes me cry on the page, the work is done for you, studio. Like, just put it into animation, and you got me. You're gonna get the tears out of my eye holes. I'm excited to see how the goons react to that season, and I'm excited to see what kind of sick stuff they do animation wise, because rewatching the last 2 episodes of season 2 just reminds me of how mind blowing that stuff is. It's just exhilarating watching like that animation team and the guest animators that they bring in to do these like crazy like things that they do. It's really, I don't know, it's really awesome, and it's definitely one of the things I'm looking forward to. I think it's like a week out. So and then the last thing I wanted to bring up is I went to my first anime trivia this past week at our local anime bar, Nakama karaoke bar, and they were holding a trivia night, so we brought my goons, a couple of the JSB fam, Diver Down, my sister, Phil, and then my friend Brandon, who teaches film. And it was a lot of fun. Interestingly enough, not every question was anime. So they did 6 rounds of 3 questions, and 1 of every 3 was not an anime question. So, and that's actually an advantage for me because I know my general media. I also had my homie Brandon who knows general media, so there were like a couple of questions that like we are kind of carried on the backs of those questions. Like, who are the longest tenured reality TV show hosts? The like 4, and Brandon knew like 3 of them. So we got really lucky there. Got some points there. Our team name, by the way, was Bochi and the Rocks.
Brilliant name. 10 out of 10.
The team that was first place for most of it had a great name. They were Winland Saga. Winland Saga.
I hate it.
The team that ended up ultimately winning was just called Tanjiro. Just Tanjiro. And we came back from entering the final question where you could bet up to 15 points. We bet all of our 15 points because we were 5th. And we just wanted to full send it, and we got it right. So we moved from 5th to 2nd by 1 point, and it was like a miraculous. It was a miraculous victory. I'm glad we had the like spread of goons. They asked like really cool variety questions. I hope they keep up that variety and kind of like keep up like a good mix of the popular stuff. I think they asked 2 Hunter x Hunter questions. They asked like Attack on Titan questions, but they also stepped into like Gossip and Charlotte. 2 anime I've never seen, a little bit more obscure.
Jenny's getting excited for Charlotte.
Yeah, wait.
She might be muted.
What'd you perk up for, Jennii?
You're muted.
Oh, you're muted. We can't hear your voice. I'm gonna make that the Jennii pout face is gonna be a new emote.
Please. This is the gods denying her the Charlotte talk.
She got so excited.
Yeah.
That the gods were just straight up like they can't. Oh, there she is.
Boom. Here we are.
All right.
Yeah.
I like Charlotte.
Yeah.
Okay.
and it was not what I was expecting when
Uh-huh.
I first started it, because it almost felt like it was going to be like another My Hero story.
Okay.
But the world that it develops is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm curious what the questions were. I think Phil was trying to tell us a little
Yeah.
bit when he about what the questions were, but he couldn't remember them. He's like, there was one question about Blue Lock, and then Paul was like, "Oh, Jennii would have got it right," and I was like, "What? What was the question?"
Oh, the question. So the question was, what position did Isagi play before entering Blue Lock? And
Weren't they all strikers?
yeah, they were all strikers / forwards. which makes the question funny if you know the show.
Trick question.
Yeah, it's like a trick question because every character was a striker / forward, so it's like really funny. What's it called? I'm trying to think. There was a couple of music questions, which was a lot of fun. Like they would play the song, and then Diver Down immediately turns to me and he's like, "That's from Attack on Titan, 100%. Put that answer in." And I was like, "Whoa!" Like, how did he know that? Yeah, like that stuff was like so fun. I'm trying to remember like other questions, but like they had a pretty good spread, and I hope they dip into like the popular stuff because of course like you want it easier to start and then like people to know, and then like the more obscure stuff is like a lot of fun because like, oh, I know this, I like Charlotte or I like Gothic. It's fun to like know that stuff. I'd love for them to ask questions about like Monster or Devilman, or Hands Off Isaacin, just really reach in there. Maybe put in more movies. We'll see. I'm planning to make it a regular thing every week. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a JSB AnimeCast episode.
That'll be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
I wonder what our team name would be. Am I muted again?
No,
you're
good.
I'm just like you got me thinking.
We shouldn't have said anything. Just let it rock.
You just got me thinking. And you get like pretty cool price. Like I think I got $25 credit for Nakama. So like,
oh hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a flight. Anyone in my team could use it. So like, if they go up to the bar and they're like, "Hey, we're from this team," they'll like know, and then they can, you can get the points for it. But the goal is to win one. We have to win at least one. I can't be the host of this podcast without winning one. That's just how it is.
Easy.
I was kind of worried that it would be a lot of questions of like the not traditional, but like the more common animes.
Yeah.
So the fact that they had more obscure ones makes me feel like an indie kid.
Yeah.
But kind of proud of it.
Yeah. And it wasn't a lot of them, mind you, but there were,
But
definitely.
It's cool that they tossed that in there, though.
Absolutely.
Right? And it would be nice to see them lean a little harder. It's that also like might provoke somebody to go check out something that's more obscure as well.
Yeah,
right?
I immediately looked
I
up
think that stuff
Gossip
is really cool.
after and Charlotte. There was some stuff from the popular ones that I didn't know because I just didn't like them, like Black Clover.
Oh, Black Clover.
That shit.
Yeah.
You don't like Do you like Black Clover, Zen? Yeah, me
Not
either.
really.
Yeah, me either. Can't get into it. Asta's too annoying for me.
Yes.
And I've seen some of the animation for like the sick attacks, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm also not gonna watch like 60 episodes to get to that,
You just get the smash cut of the cool animation.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, I'm good. But what's funny is that I did know the characters. So like, when they asked the question, it was like, what was the name of the troop that this guy was in before the current one? And I was looking up because they have like manga panels, right? Or manga panels are all up on the wall there at Nakama. And I'm like, it's that guy. He's got like a bloody face, and I'm like, I don't remember the answer, but I know that's the guy. So I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast. It was a really good like midway mark thing. And I just plan to do it more. So don't be surprised to hear more of like my anime trivia escapades, and hopefully you guys can join me for some, and we'll also get a video of where we win one day.
If you go this Thursday, I can probably go.
Hell yeah. We just need to get the Zen
One day.
One day.
My work schedule doesn't allow it, but maybe in the future we can figure out a way.
Maybe in the future, absolutely.
That could be a fun little, even just like an episode that we do with not even their formal event, but they just like do a trivia thing.
Absolutely.
Or we do a trivia thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, goons. Shall we get to the topic at hand? Should we put on our science goggles? Make sure you have flame retardant gear. Make sure you got your gloves so that you can handle any hazardous chemicals. And let's get to accelerating society back to modern age, shall we?
What if we don't? What if we just don't embrace science? What if we just leave that alone?
Are you Team Tsukasa?
He might have a point.
We'll get to that question. Don't worry, I have that question in my notes and I'm ready to go at it. But before we get to that question, I did want to ask specifically, because this is the first anime where it wasn't picked by me. So I want to dig into the minds of my homies here. Jennii, what is it about this anime that drew you in? Why was it your first choice? Why did you pick this as the first choice for us to watch?
I think it's a unique anime.
Okay.
Like when we talked about our favorite 5, whatever, was it 4 or 5? I named ones that had unlikely heroes, right? Promise Neverland has a bunch of kids that are all smart, but they're still absolutely kids. Death Parade is a hero who some would say actually only becomes a hero because of sin.
Yeah.
Your Name, it's a fate thing, has nothing to do with them. They didn't do anything like significantly like special or anything. They just happen to be dropped in this thing, right? And then that's the adventure that they go on. And then the last one I gave was an old man who accidentally becomes a superhero and is still trying to figure out like what to do with it. So this one I think was really similar. Like Dr. Stone is an unlikely hero. He's a geek to the highest degree, where he doesn't even care about social norms at all, and disregards them as silly and useless. But it's all about science. And I know that they've tried to do like educational animes before. I think Cells at Work is one.
Yeah.
But they don't usually have a good story that really like just wraps you in and is like, okay, this is also really engaging. It's hard to make a hero that's likable when they're so untouchable too,
Yeah.
And, but then you see like the sides of him that he can't hide. And it's like, okay, that's cool. So I'm a big fan of science in general, big science person. So that appealed to me. And then this is why we hated Black Clover. Probably has some really cool moments, but then I cannot get into the main characters. I have no reason to support them. I barely kind of want to support Rico. Okay, I'm mostly there for Reg and Nanachi at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Team Nanachi, let's go.
Yeah. But then I do love the heroes in Dr. Stone, like the main characters. Even the bad guy. I really like the bad guy.
Yeah. Tsukasa's interesting. Very
And all the other characters that come into, they're all really, really different. They're still anime characters. They're still fun tropes that we can recognize.
Yes.
But I love the educational part of it too. And it's so fun. And and the emotions catch you by surprise. Like I see them coming in Made in Abyss. You see these moments where like you're like, oh god, yep, this is probably gonna make me cry. Your Name, Your Lie in April, you're gonna cry. Promise Neverland. But Dr. Stone, it's like I think that one surprised me. So I was like, wow, I'm actually kind of choking up over here, and Paul's like bawling his eyes out.
Shout out to Paul.
Hugging a pillow.
We just need like the Paul cam in like the corner.
I love that. I love that because like Paul is like one of the strongest dudes that I know, and he's just like that man's got a heart of gold. So I'm just like,
I love that.
I love this lad. He's like absolute king for letting his emotions flow. He's strong on the inside and on the outside. That's how I feel. So I love that.
So that's why I chose this one. It's nothing like the other ones that I think we've ever talked about. I think it's nothing like, you know, the like Full Metal or Evangelion Worlds or Madoka. It's nothing like them. So I'm really, I thought I wanted to throw in something that's very unique into our mix pretty early on.
It's fascinating because like I was talking to my sister about it, and I was like, you know, it's kind of interesting for me because it's a shonen, right? But the hype moments isn't Senku's punching some goon. He's not doing that. He's discovering electricity. You know, like, and you see like electricity happen, and you're like, let's go! Oh my god, we have electricity!
He made ramen.
He made ramen.
That's like the hypest moment of the entire show for me. I was like, dude, I love this.
Yeah. And what's funny is that in his regard, we've come so far with ramen that the ramen he makes he finds disgusting. But to people who have never had ramen before,
have never had a noodle,
have never even had a noodle, it is a wonder of an invention, right? And I think that's like so cool how like that, like, even not everything he does is perfect, right? Like, while he is this guy who happens to know all these things, not everything is done to perfection or like flawlessly. Even he can acknowledge the flaws, and I think that's like great. You know, it's just not this like easy steamroll.
He giggles through them.
He does giggle through them.
Like, it's exactly like a scientist though. When they realize that their mistake, they go, it's because of the mistake they realize what the right answer is.
Right.
And see, that's even why more so like since I love science and stuff like that, like the Maiden Abyss scares me because you can't make mistake. You can't go back even if you really want to. If you go, oh, that's why that was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, nope, already happened.
It has to be like carefully thought out. And even if it is fully carefully thought out, there's still risk involved, and you have to push through that risk, right? Like I think about the sulfuric acid stuff. Like they made gas masks, but it's not foolproof. He even acknowledges it. It's not foolproof.
Yeah.
And in fact there are moments where it's like you have to manage your breathing, because if you're breathing too fast, it doesn't matter that we made this thing. It's not a foolproof invention, you know, like.
And even like before they went out there, he was prepared to like give Chrome all the info. Because he knew this can go wrong.
It's a possibility.
It's not a perfect thing.
No.
You know.
And to hear him deliver everything else with confidence all the time.
Yeah.
Moment to watch him start like shaking.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, he's actually scared. Oh, okay, now I'm getting the feels.
Yeah, exactly. He's not infallible, and that's like fun. Especially in the face of an opponent like Tsukasa, who's basically perfect. Yeah, who's basically perfect.
He's brilliant, and he's good looking, and he's stronger than a lion.
Yeah, he's stronger than a lion.
And he's in high school, so he's young too.
What? This perfect being of a human
is the villain.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's really great to hear. I love that, because that was, you definitely achieved that. Like me watching it was like, I know this is a shonen. It's got all the shonen genes in it, but the things that it's doing is so different. And you know, like I said, specifically that moment with my sister, I am enjoying it. It's kind of weird feeling to me that it's a shonen, but like the hype moments are like, aha, eureka, you know, we've discovered this thing. And,
penicillin.
Yeah, penicillin. Oh my god. Some dude isn't getting punched in the face, and it's like, I'm loving that aspect of it. And I also wanted to like, so I want to know from Zen's perspective, like, how do you feel about it, like, compared to other shonens that you've watched? Do you like this? Do you like the fact that it is a, you know, a eureka shonen anime where the exciting moments rather are like a discovery as opposed to like somebody hitting a power level, right?
Right. I love this show. So when you picked it, I had already seen Dr. Stone. So I was excited to rewatch it, but I watched it when it aired, right? So it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's Senku is the type of character that I really love. I when it comes to anime, I'm not always big on like the hype moments being just like this pure action focus,
Sure.
right? I do love a character that's like thinking through a problem, and then it's like this is the moment, right? So like, and I also like his personality as well, right? Like he can be blunt, he can be a bit of an asshole at times, right?
Yeah.
But like he definitely cares about those around him too, right? You know what I mean? But like he won't compromise his beliefs and stuff like that, right? Like I really like him as a character. I love all the side characters. I like this take, this sciencey take for something, and like they're explaining like what they're doing. And sure, it's like I'm not a big science nerd, right?
Sure.
But obviously a lot of this stuff is exaggerated to some degree, right? But it is cool that there's like a basis there, and that could be some like a spark for someone to get interest into this stuff, right? You joked last recording like it's not Bill Nye the Science Guy, the anime, but in some ways it kind of is, right? Some ways it kind of is. Senku makes this thing, and then he talks through his process of how this was made, and it's like there's a logic here that is based on some truth, I'm sure. Right?
Yes.
It's probably exaggerated to like the nth anime degree, but there's a path that he's following, in that you could learn some stuff from. And I find that fascinating how they slip that in there in a way that's not some boring educational thing.
Exactly.
It's woven in incredibly well. Like there are some moments where it is the butt of a joke. There's some moments where it is a serious thing. In the way that they navigate between being like a serious but being comedy is like pretty good. Like the pacing of the overall anime is really good as well, in my opinion. It's a show that I enjoy. I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time. There's Suika is one of my favorite characters.
Ooh.
I love Suika.
That's actually
The girl or no?
the watermelon head.
The watermelon head.
Oh,
Yeah.
Watermelon
yes,
head,
with
yes.
the vision.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes.
love that.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite moments of this entire show.
It's so sweet.
Is when they give Suika his glasses,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like Suika can't see very well at all.
Yeah.
And like there's I'm trying to think, there's like a specific line that Senku says. He asks like he takes Suika over to like the meadow, right? Like as he made the thing, and he asks like what do you see? And she's like, it's sunflowers. I mean, I can't see, it's not like I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Right. And then he puts the helmet on her, and like you just see the tears start falling.
Yep.
And it's like everything comes into focus and she sees the world around her, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. So I'm surprised at moments like that where like this moment in this anime hits me really hard. It was something that I was not expecting the first time I watched this show.
Yeah.
You know?
It's that miracle of
Full
science.
of surprises. Yeah, the miracles of science.
It is the miracles of science, and like I know that's like it feels funny to say and cheesy to say, but like when you see it within the context of these characters, there's something like magical about it. I was talking with my sister specifically about the cola. It's funny they mentioned Suika is one of your favorite characters, because Gen is actually one of my favorite characters.
Asagiri Gen.
And I'm not even that far in the anime, but I can already tell he's definitely like a my speed character, because he's a little.
I love him too.
He's like very suspect.
Among Us.
He's very Amogus, which is like very my speed. But like, and he makes this like. He says, whichever side is going to win, I want to join that side. And he says that. And I feel like a lot of people would say that. But there's something... It turns out there's like something deep-seated in him that's like, it's not that simple. Because like, you know, he also outlines things that like are a little bit like, why would I join Senku's side? Because like, if Tsukasa wins, I get a world where I'm like surrounded by beautiful women, and I get to like, you know, procreate with them. It's the very like if you've ever seen the film Doctor Strangelove, it's very like that plan. You know, every person in here is gonna get like 12 women so that we can repopulate the earth. You know, like it's a utopia for men. But then like, it's crazy that his motivations are carried on the back of like when he first gets ramen with them, and he's like, you know, what would go great with this ramen? A cola, a nice refreshing cola. And they don't even like talk about it really after that point until like he decides to leave. And then what's crazy about that entire situation is that he gets beat up by people from the village, and that would make me upset. But they like help him out, and then he leaves, and they're worried that he's gonna like tell them that Senku's alive. But Senku bets that they won't, and is like, he saw me like create electricity, which was like a sick moment. I loved that moment. Magical moment.
Yeah.
And he knew like that he would not like tell them that Senku's alive, and that this alliance, because the miracle will happen. It's an alliance on the flimsy foundation of cola. And it's like, you know, he's gonna get like cola. It was, I was talking once again, because I'm always talking to my sister about these things. It's like, I really, really love that character, because in spite of everything that he has said, all the grandiose visions that one could have about siding with Tsukasa, there's one thing that he misses the most, and it is the simple pleasure of a cold, refreshing cola. And that really like resonates with me, because not everything as simple as that resonates with everyone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
A nice like home cooked meal from my parents certainly means more than it could to other people, you know, like a very specific dish. And I think about that when I look at that moment, and how that like specific thing overcomes all the other decision making, whether it be rational or not. It's something that he misses, that I'm pretty sure at one point thought was long gone, until he sees that moment where Senku creates electricity. And it's like, wow, they didn't have to explain any of that to me. I see it all happen. It's not expository dialogue. They don't need to tell me that he's like, I saw him make electricity, so I think he can make soda. I'm gonna do the right thing. It was like, you just see it in the actions, and it's great storytelling.
And you relate to it, and like you understand.
Yeah,
like, that's, you don't have to explain it, because it's such a real thing. I can talk. One thing I love about it too is I can talk about that with the people who don't watch anime. I don't have to explain anything unique. I just go, it's a world where these things were gone. These things that we've always taken for granted are just gone.
Yep.
And then what it takes to bring them back makes someone a hero.
Yeah.
And as an unlikely hero, but it makes him a hero for sure. And it's, I can explain it as easy as, imagine if Coca-Cola was gone. You know, you could never have a soda ever again. Not because you're on a diet, not because, you know, other things are holding you back from it. It is because it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And can you imagine the power that someone has to you in your mind when you realize that they can bring it back?
Yeah.
If you just believe in them, if you trust them and trust the process and learn from them. I mean, that's what science is, though, right? It makes heroes out of discovery and and when it like, so food is kind of like, cooking is kind of a science to me too. So then when it kind of made a recipe and a formula for Coca-Cola, I was like, it's got cilantro in it.
Yeah, that's wild to think. Did you have you done like a Dr. Because I know you did a cooking stream. Have you done like a Dr. Stone cooking thing?
No, I've wanted to do one.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing the ramen dish. We actually have a book of sushi from anime and then ramen from anime. So I'm curious what we'll pick from that. I have to have the sushi look this week. That's what we'll be doing on Wednesday. But yeah,
I love that. Do you have a character that particularly stands out to you, Jennii? I know, like for me, it's Gen, and I think of that moment. Obviously, Zen had Suika. Did you have anybody else that was different, or like generally you like Suika's moments, or you like Gen's moments?
So I think you actually chose my least favorite character as your favorite.
I love that. I love that
Bothers
though.
me.
I love that though.
Bothers, disturbs me even.
I was like, oh, that guy makes me uncomfortable.
Fair enough.
I mean, he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chrome, I'd have to say.
Chrome.
Oh, Chrome
He's
is
a
a
good boy.
sweetheart.
Because he's got a huge gap between him and Dr. Stone,
Yeah.
but the love and the passion and excitement is there. And
Yeah.
I think, and I feel like he becomes like the first friend
Yeah.
for Senku,
Yeah.
and like where he's like we became friends not because of fate threw us together,
Mhm.
but because we had something in common.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you find someone in the same club as you, that you're
Yeah.
like, oh, we watch anime together. It's like when we all came out of the bushes and we're like,
Yeah, yeah,
"I love
finally.
it too." Me too.
Yup,
You know?
exactly.
And he's like, he tries to impress him
Yep.
with his science, and he's just like, there's never going to be anything you can do to impress me. But he didn't need to. It was just, they shared a passion together, and that was something
Yeah.
that Senku never really had with anybody else. you
No.
know? So Chrome, despite having such a huge gap, he doesn't see Senku as competition. He sees him as inspiration.
Yes,
He wants
exactly.
to learn from him. I like that take on it, because he could have seen him as a competition. Could have been like, you know what?
Absolutely.
No, I'm not going to help you. You got an unfair advantage. You're from like thousands of years ago where they had this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not
Oh my
fair.
god, there is a world where Chrome is like the most insufferable character.
Absolutely.
Like awful character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But what he does and how far he's willing to go, I mean, he's ready to die for
mhm.
He is.
Senku.
Yeah.
And because he also found like him as a friend, and I love the emotion animations of them,
Mhm.
be like especially in the intro, and just like moments where they look like each other in weird ways, but like
Mhm.
opposites. And usually when they animate things as opposites, they're enemies.
Absolutely.
So I really definitely love those. I love it when he tries to fight too.
Yup.
It's like, oh,
It's always a reminder that they're not
poor
fighters.
thing.
yeah. You
Always
are
a
not
reminder.
fighters, and you know what? That's okay. I love the honesty of it, because it's like they throw Senku in somehow.
Yeah.
he's supposed to do too. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. No, Chrome. If I had to pick, I was gonna say Kohaku at first.
Yeah.
Mm.
But Chrome actually probably wins it because he really like stole my heart.
Mhm.
I feel like Kohaku when Chrome and Senku are talking about science and she's just like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
She's the jock. She's the
Yeah,
jock.
yeah. I'm
good.
like, Kohaku, I understand. I don't know what these nerds are talking about either.
It's a good bit. It makes me think about like, I had friends who are like I follow politics, but there are some people who are really in the weeds of politics.
Yes.
And then they would start like engaging in conversation about stuff, and I would just be like,
They talk about politics like final or fantasy football. Like,
yeah. I'm like,
100%.
whoa. Anyway,
10 billion %.
10 billion%, if you will.
How exhilarating!
God, please. Yeah, that's so I could definitely relate to Kohaku at that point. Do you guys have a favorite discovery? Like, what is we've obviously like touched on it, right?
Mm.
Like, it's funny that I say discovery. These are all things that Senku already knew about, but it's fun to like rediscover it, right, within the context of the new world.
I think it's fun to rediscover it, and then it's
Yeah.
fun to see the reactions to that discovery.
Yeah,
I think is where I get a lot of the joy from, right?
because these people have never
So-
seen it.
Yeah, this is magic. This is sorcery, as
Yeah.
as they said initially, right?
Yeah,
Chrome is a sorcerer.
Mhm. yeah, exactly.
so
Yeah,
it-
he's the
it's-
local mage somehow.
Yeah, he's a local mage.
But
him,
like,
and his rocks.
yeah,
You
but
know?
he's level 1 still. You know, he hasn't leveled up to the 3 yet to start the
Oh.
game.
Yup,
Of
yup.
course.
But I was curious as to like for if either of you guys, if like any particular discovery really stands out to you. I've obviously touched on it already. I think the electricity scene is a really, really, really good moment. But is there something that's like more interesting for y'all?
Yeah,
we can start with Rob.
I'm with you on the electricity scene. I think that whole thing is just like orchestrated perfectly,
Mhm.
like from animation standpoint, from like the shots that they used,
Yeah.
and the lighting and everything was just like really great. There's a bit where Senku's talking about how what was it, Edison defeated the darkness.
Yeah.
Right. That I thought was really, really good.
It's super exaggerated. There's
Yes,
no way that light
absolutely.
is that
Like,
bright,
no,
right?
no.
It's an anime.
No.
Yeah, it's an anime.
Yes.
But to get the point across as to how like big of a deal it is, they zoom out into Japan. They show you like Japan, and there's a little light there, but you know for a fact that light ain't that bright. But because if it was, they'd be blind. Like,
Right.
but to emphasize the point, they do that, and it's visually so like inspirational. It's like wow.
Yeah. But I still think the lens with Suika is still the one that just
Yeah.
that just hits me in a very special place, right? So it's pretty much between those two, but I lean more towards the Suika moment.
It's a good
And
one.
we have this as two guys on this stream wear glasses,
I know.
and I got LASIK, so I used to wear glasses.
So
I've been contemplating LASIK actually.
oh really?
highly
I
recommend it.
have. My sister got it as well, so that might be a future thing.
I feel like a sham because I don't actually need glasses. This is blue light.
Oh,
glasses.
you!
This is
I have been betrayed.
these are
Holy
blue
shit.
light glasses to prevent me from ever needing to wear glasses.
Turn your cam off.
I
This
hear
is-
the offense in Rob's voice, and this
This
is
is awful.
excellent.
This is the worst. Top 10 anime betrayals.
I'm not gonna lie. I have always thought about it because sometimes I wear glasses for
I thought you would just take off your glasses because your eyes were strained or something like that, and you were just like, I just need to take these off real quick.
Nope.
No.
I always
All
think
this
about how I wear it sometimes, like cosmetically, and I'm just like, is this rude to people who need to wear them?
Is this rude?
You know, like I'm.
Does a bear shit in the woods? Yes.
So you know, but these are amazing.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure your eyes are amazing. I wish my eyes worked.
Oh my god, please. You know, okay, let's change the conversation. What else do I have on my notes? Let me adjust my glasses.
Mocking us now, are you?
What do you guys think of the like primary conflict? I think between Tsukasa and Senku, the kind of stances they take now that they have an opportunity to recreate the world. What do you think of that conflict? Do you think it's like a particularly compelling conflict? Do you think Tsukasa has a point?
Wait, did you already change the subject from the favorite discovery? Did you have yours?
Oh yeah, it was electricity.
Oh, okay.
Wait, did you do yours?
I don't think Jennii had hers.
Oh, you know what? My bad. Rob, I'm gonna blame Rob.
We
for
just
that
scared
one,
him because
he
of
scared
the...
me.
yeah.
And then
It's like, okay,
I immediately went to the
what?
I pulled up the like host eject button. It's like great. The host is in the hot seat, and I can press the eject button and just launch
Eject,
my
move
way
on,
out of
move
here.
on.
Yeah, quick, use your emergency host ability to like move on. And then Jenny's like, What are we doing? Don't worry. I parachuted back to the ground, and I'm ready to be like, you're right. We forgot something. Do you have a discovery, Jennii, that you
I
particularly
do.
was like, that's different? Maybe it's something we didn't even talk about yet.
We did, but there was one other one that I really, really liked, and it was the most important invention in the whole world, in the whole wide world, and it was soap.
Oh yeah, the very first
Ooh,
one.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
very first.
I was
one.
like, that is so true, though. Like, most of us, all of our friends and us probably would have been dead by now because of the time that we got really sick once.
Yep.
And I think that reality, we forget about it because we've been so spoiled with medicine, modern medicine.
Correct.
100%.
And I love that conversation. It is a small, subtle detail, but it is like one of the profound truths that I like that this show kind of goes over. Like, yeah, it's not about the brawn. You know, you have this guy, but because he's really healthy and really strong, he's not susceptible to things like disease and sickness. You know,
Correct.
we all are.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool hearing that that's actually a greater threat than anything else. I mean, in war, more people died from disease and infections than actual like firearms and
Correct.
artillery. So,
Mhm.
and fratricide too. That's also a big cause of death and injury in war.
Mm-hmm.
Friendly fire, man. But yeah, there was that one, and then penicillin. I think
Penicillin's a
medicine
good
just
one.
seems to be like the big. That's how people stay alive. That's why our mortality is much higher now.
Yep.
And yeah, that's definitely where I'd have to say those are my favorite discoveries. The Coca-Cola one is one I enjoy sharing, but I would say the
Yeah.
soup
Yeah.
and yeah, soap and penicillin.
Hell yeah. I love these answers. They're very good.
Now you can move on.
Now I can move on. Fast forward. The conflict between Tsukasa and Senku. The sides. The Nation of Science and the Nation of Stone. What are they called?
A nation of
The Goon.
high schooler.
The Goon Nation. Yeah, I mean, I guess, how do you guys feel about that, like, conflict? Do you think Tsukasa has a point? Like, has there ever at any point crossed either of your minds that, like, Tsukasa has a point? I'm curious.
Jennii, you want to field this one?
I don't agree with him
At all.
So that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's it there. I just don't.
Cut and
agree
dry
with him.
answer. Just don't
Yeah.
agree. Just no. It's not good. Yeah. There's definitely people where I'm like, you know what? We don't need to bring you back. We don't need this in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think there are cases where like there are some better left stoned up. Overall, I don't agree with Tsukasa.
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing, right?
I think it makes sense for this anime to have that conflict, right? I think that's the only logical, like, first villain,
Yeah.
as it were,
Mhm.
right? If you're doing this whole we need to rebuild humanity
Mhm.
angle, but there are cases where I would definitely be like, you know, we don't need to bring back Hitler. Like, he could stay stoned. You know what I mean? Or whoever other, like, insane individual.
Yeah.
Right? Because they do cause problems for society as a whole and would be dangerous.
Mhm.
But, yeah, he just goes way too far with it.
Yeah.
You know? So you can't help but be behind Senku the entire time, you know? And also, like, the goons that he does end up, like, having around him don't seem like great people either. So, like,
No!
I don't even believe in this nation that he's building based on the crew that he has.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, sir, you're already, like, fucking up this vision that you have.
Yeah, it would make
You know?
better. Like, if I saw the characters and they were actually, like, good, it's like, okay, maybe he's onto something. We're only bringing the correct people back. But then,
Right.
like, you see them and you're like, oh, they're
Awful
killers.
human beings.
You know, like,
Right. Like, you don't want to bring back, like, someone's dad, but we're gonna bring back some murderers. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Sound logic.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a kid. He is a kid.
Oh,
He is a
I'm sorry.
kid.
He is a high schooler despite his perfect body and being like 8 foot tall and can punch the shit out of a tiger.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you okay, Zach?
I am not jealous one bit.
I love that. I think certainly for me that was the most interesting part of that conflict, because I think the first time I ever tried to watch Dr. Stone, it was definitely like a 100% absolutely like Senku's the good guy. But upon rewatch, I could see an argument, right? Like, I'm now at a point in my life where I can see a, like, you know, there are some things in the world that maybe could be fixed if we don't bring back these people, you know? And I think even just having that thought in my head adds layers to the character. Even if even if he's doing a shit job at it.
Through it, right? It's like the
bad.
idea of that is very fascinating and interesting.
Yes.
right? But I think the execution behind Tsukasa isn't great.
Yeah.
Particularly done well, you know?
Yeah.
But at least it gets you thinking about that, and it puts you
does.
in that space, right? So it is succeeding at least there. Yeah.
Especially like, I guess I don't know even more so because I haven't gotten to Stone Wars. I haven't gotten to the second season, and I hear it's a banger. So I'm like, you know, I'm kind of curious as to like how far these ideals can go when they're like combating each other for that kind of stuff. And it's interesting to see them navigate like convincing people between the two. That's why I found like the Gen stuff interesting. And like I often wonder if Tsukasa has his own struggles convincing people. I doubt it because he's freakishly strong and he can intimidate you. But that is a struggle that Senku has because some people are afraid of it, the stuff that he's doing, you know.
I love his malicious face.
Me too.
It's so good.
he does, and other characters pointed out they're like, I think he.
They're like, why are you doing that with your face right now?
Yeah. What are you up to?
Maybe he's not a good person.
What's he cooking? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. He called them a colony once, and I was like, I wrote it down. Is Senku a colonizer? 1 point off for Senku. You know?
Oh man.
So like, you know, just that kind of stuff. He's not perfect, but he is definitely the better of the two, and he hits me with those inspirations because he does care. He gave Suika the eyesight. He's trying to save someone with medicine. You know, he's definitely putting on I'm a logical face, but then people are pointing out that that's not true. When they're going to get that like, sulfuric acid. Yeah. Yeah, shut up. I'm logical. But then Chrome is like, well, if you're so logical, why wouldn't you send me instead? Bitch.
And Senku's like, fuck.
Yeah. He's learning. See, so and it's those types of like moments of vulnerability I really love about Senku as a character.
And you've only watched the first 12 episodes, right? So you haven't gotten to the second core.
I haven't even gotten to the second core yet. I will continue to watch it. It's just that this past week, with my first week at a new job, it's been a little bit tough to watch more than 12 episodes. I know I asked last week if we could watch more, and I would have done it if I wasn't so busy. Bet.
If it wasn't for these meddling jobs.
If it wasn't for these
being an adult.
But don't be surprised if in the coming episodes I talk about, you know, continuing this journey because I think it's a worthwhile journey. I think it's fun. How do you guys feel about the character designs? Because I don't think a lot of anime quite look like this. Let's take away the fact that even like they're cave people, pretty much. You know, they have like, you know, rags and stuff as their clothing. That's a given. But even like the big eyes, women have like very pursed lips in the show. It feels like every male character has their hair up. Except for like maybe Tsukasa or Ginro, but like there are an awful lot of characters whose hair is like just shooting up.
You know, we got a lot of gel in this Stone Wars.
We do, yeah. Just for some reason.
No, they were all just electrocuted at some point.
Gravity is weaker. I mean, how do you guys feel about the designs? I know like my sister is a little bit more harsh on it. She tried to get into the manga and said she couldn't because she found the women characters were kind of ugly to her.
Oh, they are ugly. Like even the ones that are considered like the prettiest of the village are like.
So you don't like the design choices? You think?
I don't watch it for the animation, that's for sure. It's what does it remind me of? They remind me of bugs, almost like Pokemon. Like they are Pokemon.
Interesting.
Like that old style of eyes, or even Yu-Gi-Oh! I think had that for a while too. So it's a little bit like a throwback, honestly. I'm wondering what's the reason for the different animations, the reasons for the different animation styles, I guess, or artwork styles. Maybe a little Shaman King-ish too. Also known for spiky hair, at least in the manga.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. It's I'm definitely like weirded out particularly by the female characters, right?
Yeah.
Like it is this like big eyes, like really small lips that are like up here
Yeah.
sometimes, right? It almost reminds me of like the old key animations like Chobits and stuff like that.
Oh,
Where they
okay.
have like the giant eyes and then it's like the mouth is like actually up here instead of down here. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is awkward. But then like the male characters aren't that way.
No,
and I'm
they're
just
not.
like we're shifting a lot here, and this is just like weird for me to watch. So I'm always just weirded out. It, like Jennii said, it's almost like bug-eyed in some ways, right?
Yeah.
They do look like little Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely weird. I don't like, I don't hate it, and I'm not like turned off by it.
No,
right? Like
it
it's not
hasn't
gonna make me like
stopped.
stop me from watching or enjoying the show,
Mhm.
right? But it is something that stands out in a way that I'm like, I'm also like, what was like the thought behind this choice?
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the same thing. I'm like wondering, was it easier to like just focus on the story and not put a lot of design detail into the characters
Maybe.
themselves? Because I also feel like it's a bit sloppy with
Mhm.
the character designs. The
Mhm.
colors don't make sense. There's
Not at all.
no
No.
need or reason for the colors.
Mhm.
Like, why is his hair green? And why does he not require dye for it to be green? We
He's a
get it.
natural born leak.
Right.
The Bok
Onion
Choy
over
King.
Here. Yeah. I bet they're gonna call him that at some point too. And they're gonna be like, a Bok Choy King over here, and he'd be like, "Is that what you call me?" He's gonna do that like that face.
That would be so good.
Well, so like it's fascinating, and this is on me as the host to not have done this research. I don't know who does the art for the manga. I don't know if it's the author who does it, because I know the author's last manga before Dr. Stone was actually done by Murata. The artwork was done by Murata. And if you don't know who Murata is, he is, in my opinion, the best mangaka artist working right now. He's the one who took once famous manga One Punch Man and turned it into what it is now. Insanely gorgeous looking. Still retains the simple drawings when he wants to, but then when One Punch Man looks all bricked up and the crazy like art that zooms in, that's Murata's handiwork. And they work together on Eye Shield 21, which is one of the most gorgeous manga, if you've never read it, to have ever existed. So this author went from Murata to either himself or someone new, and it's fascinating to like see that.
It looks like it's someone else.
It's someone else.
Because I'm seeing it's illustrated by someone named Boichi.
Okay, Boichi. What else has Boichi done? Is there a way to see?
Nothing that I recognize. There's like there's a Trigun anthology series that they did.
Okay.
That I've never read. Terraformers Gaiden.
Ooh.
Origin is
Okay.
another one. And I haven't really heard of the rest of the stuff here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not too familiar with their work.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. And it was certainly something that that's like the primary reason I wanted to ask you guys about it, because it's not, I don't like the look of specifically the women in the series. And yeah, it's just a fascinating decision, and I wonder why they do it. And it's strange to think about because it's more of an artwork thing than an animation thing. I'm not particularly like, they don't do anything animation-wise that blows my mind. But then again, they're also not doing like crazy attacks. You know, it's not showing where they're doing like insane stuff.
No, they do what they need to.
Yeah,
right?
it's
like there's individual moments where I'm like, this is cool, but it's not because of like, you know, ufotable level animation, right? It's like we talked about with electricity, like the decisions around like the lighting for that stuff.
Yes.
You know, like that stuff I think is really good, but it's not. We don't think about that in the same way as like, you know, a big action scene or Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Like something like that where, you know, it's not doing anything like that.
It's
but
the
there are
visual
little
language.
Moments.
It's the visual language.
Exactly.
Yes. That they nail, and they know what they're going for with that. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I appreciate that because that means that they know what they're doing with, I guess, their like limited resources.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, those are really like the primary topics that I wanted to cover, but I'm curious as to if there are specific things regarding Doctor Stone that you guys wanted to talk about, like where is there anything that you guys want to talk about Doctor Stone wise that I don't know, it's in the back of your head heading to this podcast?
I think we actually touched on everything. Like,
Yeah.
I love talking about the discoveries.
Good job, Asher.
and I think it is a very different story, right? A different type of hero. I think when you get towards, if you continue watching it, you know, if you get towards the end of the first season, it'll really surprise you. Really surprise you.
Oh, hell yeah. I love hearing that.
Music comes in.
Okay.
I don't think you've gotten there yet.
Oh, the creation of music?
Is Doctor Stone just an idol anime? Find out next time.
It would make me love it more. That'll be the day. I get an idol anime.
Is Rob joking?
What if I put in what if the anime I pick next was an idol anime? I know Rob is down for idols, but I want to see Jennii suffer.
What's an idol anime?
Like
why are you smiling like that? I don't like it.
like
I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now. I feel like I'm in danger.
How do I pitch idol anime? Oh my god, I've never had to do this because only because idol anime are the types of things that I just happen to hear someone mention and then I gravitate to that person and I don't have to worry about explaining it.
You know what? I like watching Asher squirm, so I'm gonna let him do this.
So like, you know, like K-pop idols.
Keep going.
So like, imagine a show about them.
Expound.
But not like dark. It's always sweet and wholesome.
Okay,
so usually they're usually like high schoolers. And they
look at him wincing.
And they sing really cute songs and it's so wholesome. And I'm just so proud of them and they bring a ray of sunshine into my life. Jennii. I don't know what to say. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this around. What if, kind of what Asher was saying, but there's zombies?
Ooh.
Okay, I like zombies.
Aha, we got her.
I wasn't gonna leave.
Wait, where's that GIF where a dude's writing in the book and then?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Your little notebook write-up.
Yep.
All right, sick. So, you know me. I'm always down for like a little cute little like word association exercise.
Oh yeah.
You guys knew I was gonna bring one up, and it's okay if we have repeats. It's just a natural that we tend to gravitate towards some of the anime that we do like already. But here's a little word association game I want to play. I want to say, for each of you, I'm going to alternate between Jennii and Rob. I'm going to say an element that's on the periodic table, and you have to give me an anime that comes to mind.
Science.
What?
So we're don't worry, they're not outlandish elements. I'm not going to give you borium or something crazy.
Boruto?
Well, now I regret that I didn't do borium.
Look at me, I'm already good at this game.
But I want to see what's the first anime that comes to mind when I mention these elements and see if anything interesting like pops up in your weeb heads. So let's start with Jennii. Hydrogen.
Ooh. Haikyuu.
Haikyuu?
Haikyuu.
I love that. Rob. Sodium.
Food Wars.
Ooh. I love that. Jennii. Potassium.
Cowboy Bebop.
Interesting. Why?
I thought of bananas, and I thought of yellow, and then I thought of Vi, or not Vi. What's her name? Fucking the girl. What is her name?
Oh, what's the name of the main girl? Why am I blanking on her name?
Faye.
Faye.
Valentine.
Faye.
There we go.
Valentine.
Yes.
Faye
yes.
Valentine. That's right. All right, Rob. Titanium.
Attack on Titan.
Perfect.
It's too easy.
All right, Jennii. Iron.
God dang it! What was that anime? Oh, Shield Hero.
Shield Hero. Cool.
Because the Iron Maiden attack.
Oh hell yeah! I've never seen it.
It is very painful to start.
Is it in a
it's
good or
probably
bad
one
way?
of my it's probably one of my most painful in a bad way starts to an anime, and then it gets a little bit better where it makes you feel okay. I can get through this, but it is brutal.
But you ended
You're
up
like-
liking it down the line.
Yeah, you hate the world at first though, because it's a isekai, so you will
Yeah.
fall into another world right away. Literally, he's in a library.
Yeah.
It's like literally an isekai.
Mhm.
But he wakes up. He's like, "Am I the character?" But it is the world it builds is so painful to start. You're like, I fucking hate it here.
Mhm.
This is how does he get out? Oh my god, this
Mhm.
sucks. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's pretty. It's got some pretty gratifying moments in it for sure. But yeah, there's a attack that he has that's called the Iron Maiden. That takes him a long time to obtain it, but when he does,
Perfect. We love that.
Okay.
it's brutal.
Rob.
I love it.
Copper.
You said Copper?
Yep, Copper.
One Piece.
It's because of Chopper?
Shut up.
Incredible. Jennii, Oxygen.
Made in Abyss.
Ooh.
All right, 2 more. Or no, wait. No, 3 more. Rob, Uranium.
Sailor Moon.
I love that.
Pretty good. It's pretty
Shout outs to Sailor Uranus.
Shout outs.
Jennii, Silver.
good. 7 Deadly Sins.
7 Deadly Sins. And then Rob, the last one, Gold.
Uma Musume.
Why?
Gold ship.
Oh, I'm dumb.
Stupid. Dumb.
Of course.
My favorite horse VTuber.
Of course. How
Gold ship.
could I forget? All right, why don't we wrap this up? Before we get into our goodbyes, it's very important that we get to the moment I've been waiting for. What is the next anime that we're watching, Rob? You've had it the entire episode. You've been wondering the entire time what anime you were going to pick to make us watch.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Okay.
it tickles me that you've been waiting up until this moment to decide what anime we're watching.
Am I gonna decide, or are you gonna decide? Let's see here.
Wait,
I have
why would
a question. I have a question for both of you.
Oh!
Let's play a game.
Oh no!
So episode 1 was Blue Lock, right?
Yes.
It's an anime that we all enjoyed.
Yes.
I think we had a good feeling that we would all enjoy,
Yeah,
right?
I would say so.
Episode 2, Dr. Stone, I think is also good anime. Like, it's a very relatively safe choice, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's
I would
something that
say
we
so.
all enjoy, right? So we can keep that train going, right? I have a relatively safe choice, right? As Ashley would put it, this choice is a rip-roaring good time. It is a classic. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I've been dying to rewatch it. It's been probably like 15 years since I've seen it.
Ooh, that's a good amount of time.
Very good anime,
Mm-hmm.
right? Guaranteed great. On the other hand, we have an anime that I show to people every so often. It's generally enjoyed, Asher, I think I know where you'll fall on this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where Jenny's gonna fall on this. So I'm very curious to see what happens with that.
Okay.
Like, is it bad enough where I'll quit the show? Like, how bad
Oh!
is it?
Not an anime so bad that Jennii quits the show.
I legitimately don't know. So it helps me fill out this anime profile I have for both of you. Like, it gives me more information into like what it is.
Aw.
You do. Right? Figure out where everybody's boundaries are, what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy, and for why.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think you might enjoy it, but I legitimately I don't know.
Yeah.
What road do we want to travel?
Ooh, I kind of like that last one he said. I love Rip Roaring Good Times.
I don't know if you guys have seen it either.
What was the first option? Oh, 15 years ago.
It's been 15 years ago. It is considered to be a classic. It is a rip roaring good time.
The first thing that came to mind was like Ultimate Muscle, which I hope that's not it.
Oh my god! What if it was Ultimate Muscle?
I would come in
Like
with
specifically like the Foxbox dub of Ultimate Muscle.
I would not the Foxbox dub. I would come in with a luchador outfit, 100%.
Man, all right, putting that down. Where's my notebook?
It's like I might join on that, honestly.
I like me personally. I like the idea of the second one, but
yeah,
but y'all know me. I love Rip Roaring Good Times. Always down for
you love a Rip Roaring Good Time. I'm sure you would probably love that one.
Yeah,
too.
probably would.
How old is it? Out of curiosity.
2014.
Okay, it's not that old.
The second one?
It's like 10 years ago.
I mean, at this point, right? Like, I feel old.
Yeah. It's also like that early. So wait, you said 14. It's that early 2000s, right? So it's like
a mid 2000s.
So it could be ugly.
Mm-hmm. It really could be.
It could be ugly.
I don't think
era.
it is.
Yeah, it's that
but
era.
It could be.
You know.
I'm gonna go with the second one.
Second option?
You went a lot longer in your dialogue about that one, so it was more. You sound more excited about that than even one that you've been dying to rewatch from 15 years ago.
Okay, all right. So, have either of you guys watched Noragami?
Noragami? No, I've never even heard of it.
Perfect, great.
Japanese folding paper thing.
Oh my god!
What if there was an anime about origami?
There probably is.
Okay, I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna find
Lawnmowers and origami now.
Give me.
I think I did find a lawnmower anime actually.
Give me like a lawnmower anime. Wait, hold up. Wait a second. Give me like a 2 or 3 sentence pitch about the show.
Noragami is about a minor god named Yato.
Okay.
He has dreams of becoming like a god that is like worshipped by millions of people. Like he wants to be one of the big dogs, right?
Okay.
Speaking
of, what a perfect timing for this dog.
What's up, the dog?
He wants to be a big dog too.
What the dog doing? And so to achieve this, he essentially he does a lot of odd jobs and tasks for people, right? And usually this involves slaying like demons and spirits, right? Okay. He works with a sidekick of his that is known as a Shinki, and he is such a like lazy piece of shit, really, that like the Shinki decides to just abandon him. He's like, I'm done. We're done. This relationship is over, right?
Okay.
And he runs into a girl that saves him named Hiyori, who ends up needing his help to restore her soul. And it is just this tale about him finding a new sidekick to help Hiyori. And it gets into like what it means to be like a good god. It talks about like the different politics in the world of gods, right? Like who are these bigger well-known gods, and like the politics around that, and how can Yato ascend that, but also he has a past himself that he is trying to get run away from. Right. It's a really good anime.
Huh.
I think there's 2 seasons. Both are like 11 to 12 episodes each.
Okay.
It would be great if you can get through both.
Yeah.
Second season is personally my favorite, but there's
Okay.
also a lot of really good in the first as well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to talk about with the first if you only get through the first 12.
Great.
Beautiful animation, wonderful soundtrack. It's usually a good one that people will enjoy.
So I looked it up. I actually have heard of this one because I love
Yeah.
the opening song.
Yes.
Hey Kids.
Yes. Hey Kids.
It's super,
by-
really, really good song.
Yes, I love that song.
It's on my workout playlist. So I actually looked up because I like the song so much. I looked up the anime, and it has really bad reviews. Like, I'm not trying to shit on your shit already.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But it has really
Yeah.
bad reviews. So I'm like, this is one that you want to recommend and have us watch. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I
fun.
mean, I'm in.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm
We'll see
excited.
how it plays out. Like, I'm pretty sure I
excited.
know where Asher will fall. I don't know where Jenny's gonna fall.
Cool.
Yeah, what did you sign up for?
Cool. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's say our goodbyes. Jennii, is there anything you would like to promote, or is there any social media that people can find you? What have you?
For now, we'll stick to the cooking stream. This Wednesday, we're going to be doing a sushis from animes cookbook.
Hell
so I
yeah.
haven't picked out which one we're going to do yet.
Mhm.
We will have a big peanut gallery in the background this time.
Yeah.
We usually do. So while we're waiting for things to boil and stuff, you're going to hear banter from the peanut gallery in the background, where they talk about anything from sports animes to hottest cartoon moms from the 90s. So yeah, it's on twitch.tv. Steve might cook.
It's Dexter's mom. Anyway, continue. All right, Steve might cook. That's right. I'll probably link it at some point. Zen, anything?
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Zenosuke, Znosuke. Tweet about anime, video games, all that good stuff. Definitely follow the Jack Savage Base on Twitter as well. We do also do a video game podcast, JSB AnimeCast, that is every week. Usually drops on Wednesdays. So be sure to give that a look-see.
Hell yeah. And then for me, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/PinoyGrigio. Also on this channel, obviously, where we're streaming. Any links to the JSB YouTube, I will also have at the end of the stream. You guys will be able to see that. Also follow the JSB Anime Instagram. That link is also available at the end of the stream. And I think that's about it. Be on the lookout for any more like content we're going to produce. It's not just going to be this live show. There are things in the docket. I think some of us are feeling a little wave of inspiration. So like, I'm excited to see what else we have going down the line. So stay tuned. Please follow those channels so that you can keep an eye on it. Anything else from my favorite goons?
Nope.
Nope. I'm good on my side. Thanks for watching it with me, guys. This was really fun. I've
It was
never really
fun.
had to have in-depth conversation with Dr. Stone.
Yeah, it's always
This was
fun.
a good time.
Always fun. Always a blast to like get these new things in and I don't know, just get further down. And here I am like analyzing, like looking at anime in a different way, and then also being surprised by like how other people have watched the anime, you know. So, all right, take care, everyone. Have a good Saturday. We should be back to our Sunday schedule next week. If we're not, I'll let you guys know. That's why you follow these accounts to make sure don't miss an episode. All right, goons, say goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.